Restoring Illinois to greatness. This is Illinois Rising, presented by the Illinois Opportunity Project and hosted by AM 560's Dan Proft.
Dan back with Pat, and Elon Musk is the Harold Hill of the 21st century as far as I'm concerned, or to use a non-fictional character, Preston Tucker. To me, some people think he's a visionary. I think he's a charlatan. He's obviously gotten himself and Tesla in all kinds of trouble with his reckless tweeting. So we'll be happy to see it all come tumbling down. This is a guy who doesn't even exist without billions and billions of dollars in other people's money to subsidize every gambit that he's gone on in his career, which turned him into a billionaire. And now he's bringing his show to Chicago because obviously this is a target-rich environment for somebody like Elon Musk. Remember, this is a couple of months ago that he and Tiny Dancer announced the plans to build an express train from the Loop to O'Hare, underground train. Going to be entirely privately funded, just like Obama land. Well, I mean, except for the public money. It's going to be privately funded. And so Greg Hines, reporting in Cranes this week, tucked into a bill to renew the life of the FAA is a section that would allow local airport authorities to use their PFCs, their passenger facility charges, $4.50 per ticket tax, for transportation projects on airport properties. And that has Lipinski and others suggesting that some of that tax money could be used to build the monorail that Elon Musk wants to build underground from the Loop to O'Hare. So
first, good for Dan Lipinski, a Democrat, for pointing this out. Second, it is private money, Dan, in the sense that it's going to be taken from private people, funneled through the government, and then paid out to Elon Musk, right? That's how it's private money.
It's an interesting definition.
So you and I talked about this on this program a few months ago, and we said, number one, it's never going to happen. But if it was going to happen, it's going to happen with a massive amount of taxpayer financing, with a giant ribbon cutting, and then all kinds of problems. And I think that's where, if this is headed anywhere, that's where it's headed. It's a giant government boondoggle infrastructure project. If it's going anywhere. And like you said, Musk is literally the poster boy for crony capitalism, right? He's going to get rich off of subsidies. He's Solyndra if Solyndra didn't fail. And so this is typical of what he would do, and typical of what Rahm would do on his way out to make it look like he's a visionary thinking towards the future.
There is no Elon Musk train that doesn't include federal gravy. And speaking of Rahm on his way out, because this was something he said at his retirement speech, and what a retirement party that was. He said, I'm quoting Tiny Dancer, "We have more to do from now until then," meaning his departure in May. "We'll do everything in our power to get it done and walk out the door, hopefully leaving Chicagoans and Chicago in a stronger place." Sun-Times story this week. Rahm's final budget shortfall, roughly $200 million, more than twice what was initially projected. And that's even under the phony baloney budgeting that the city does, as does the state. So understand that even as a lame duck, he's still lame. You think, oh, if people were term limited, then they would make the tough decisions. They would pursue the structural reforms. Tiny Dancer is completely unshackled, and it's just playing out the string to his next sinecure, to his whatever political comeback he potentially is planning, or what have you. But there is no appetite, none, and no vision and no courage to do anything different, which is, you know, Bill Daley, don't change a thing in 2019, and most of the other candidates running.
So Rahm Emanuel isn't a bully and a fraud and a charlatan because he's the mayor of Chicago. He's that way as a person. So the fact that he's term limited himself or leaving doesn't change the person that he is. And in part, the person that he is why he's the mayor of Chicago, and that's really the giant problem that the people of the city and our state have to face.
Yeah, and in part, the person he is, and apparently the people that we are a giant problem with the city of Chicago, too.